Okay, so we're going to start this video off with a little bit of an apology. In the last video where I talked about Community Gardens AI, I was accusatory and I chastised way too much. My anger management consultant, Michelle, might tell me to be more positive and be more uplifting. Let me say that the fault is mine. If I've known this stuff for as long as I have, it's my inability to communicate with you that makes me feel bad. I should have said when I had these ideas before, here world, take them. But if you'll forgive me, then I think from that place I can forgive the world. Because maybe a bit about me, backstory. So I grew up in, I'm a 9/11 baby. I was 13 years old when 9/11 happened. Wars, financial collapses, the advanced rise of technology. I remember writing my phone number down and giving it to my friends. Okay, many of you don't live in that world. I remember growing up in a time, and as I say this, I know ridicule comes from people older than me and from people younger than me. But I think this becomes relevant in a moment, I promise. I grew up in a time where when you left the house at 18, and this is back in 2004, 2005, you got a job waiting tables and you could pay your rent. It was all possible. Now it seems like with a college degree and a mountain of debt, you're trapped. And so I feel for you. And when I say these things, I say like if we all have to grab a shovel. We're all going to have to dig our way out of this. And I believe in you more than you probably believe in yourself. Because you were in a system that doesn't believe in you. The system wants you to consume. It wants you to not ask questions. It wants you to not believe in yourself. It wants you to imagine seeing thousands of advertisements per day that tell you that you're not good enough. Imagine looking at grass and not seeing food's potential, but seeing something you have to mow. Imagine waking up every day for 20 to 30 years, getting in a car, driving to a place, a tribe of people to get a paycheck to come home and eat unhealthy food. That's why in the last video I said that we're all effectively trauma victims. And we have to push through this. The only way out is through. We have to get through this. And if we can architect systems using AI now, before it gets too late, go to the very first video. Then maybe you can see that I'm just not overwhelmed. I'm optimistic because I think a lot of this is inevitable. Does it happen in my lifetime? Maybe. But I want to make sure this happens for my kids and their kids' lifetime. And that they aren't captured by luxury status, consumerism, being compelled to purchase, and effectively losing their agency. So we're going to get a little sensitive, and that's okay. That's on me. I'll take that. So what are we going to talk about now? Another AI domain. These all work together. This one is going to be the most provocative. I guarantee you. Maybe you'll like this one, maybe you won't. But don't tell me it's not possible. This one is not going to be liked by power systems. It's going to be the least liked by power systems. But if I can make a compelling enough case, maybe I can change your mind. Maybe enough of you will want to participate in creating this. I got a fresh cup of mud. Let's do good stuff. Okay. Share with AI. ShareWith.ai. So we're going to all, one way or another, the labor market will change. Okay, so what happens when the labor market changes? No one has income. The best proposal that exists is UBI. Everyone gets money. Or, with I think the speed at which currencies are coming to play, everyone gets currency. Some sort of coin. There's been theories that go back hundreds of years that say people are born with a capital asset and it just appreciates over time to hedge against inflation. There's lots of cool theories out there. Here's a new one. Here's a practical, here's a fun one that I think. But before we get too deep in what the theory is, let me just sort of let me change your mind about what is really out there, okay? So, from a property right perspective, there's only two things that you really possess. And it's funny because they're the cognitive things that are the reverse of what I said in the Do Not Glimpse AI video, right? Where we've become so embodied, so disembodied with alternate realities already, with media being consumed by positions and status and luxury, which these are all, there are mechanisms that are internal and external that create these forces. So I don't blame you. I was just like you. I am still just like you. But in terms of what you have, you, the sentient being, you've got your body, but you have time and attention. So you possess time and attention, and they each require each other. And why do I say this, and what does this have to do with sharing? Okay. I'm trying to go back in time, or trying to go back like as root as I can to make sure I'm building a story here. So, from birth, so you go out into the world and you notice that there are other animate objects. There are cute fluffy kittens that move around. There's a mom and a dad that look at you. To understand the world, you train your attention. And this is exactly, ironically enough, this is how the large language models, this is how the code was cracked, is attention. So you direct your attention. Now, to do that, you have time. There's time in the sense of you need to put time into your attention to train your brain model. There's time in terms of the linear nature of what happened before, now, and after, right? Sequential aspects of time. But let me give it to you like a married man might. I know when I have not given my wife enough attention, that enough is time-based attention. I can't give her 200 attention credits. Now, we call that status. We call that wealth and luxury. But what a lot of people just want is attention. Again, unironically, is we all have attention deficit disorder. I feel like so the double play on words there is that we're all starved for attention. But at the same time, that's the only thing we really have to give is our attention. Okay? Now, the thing is that your attention and your time can be commodified. I can make money from your time and attention. At least I could. That's called a job. Where if I hire you for a certain amount of time, an hourly wage for a certain amount of hours, I want your full attention. I want enough attention for you to satisfy your job. If you were to just show up and sleep, I don't get your attention. I get your time, but I don't get your attention. I want you to show up and do your job. So when you come to that job, you're bringing your time and your attention. And we've called that work. And in exchange for that, you get cars, you get food, you get a place to live. Now, Imagine that you come up with something like financial systems. And the financial system was a way to leverage a bunch of people's time and attention for me to extract a little bit of that so that I could buy stuff, right? Say it another way, what do you save up? What do you save up for? When you're saving for your 401k or your retirement, when you're putting your investments in the marketplace, the abstractions, the financial abstractions as to how that all happens, that's irrelevant. What you're doing is you're buying time and attention in the future with your time and attention now. You go to work for 40 hours now so that when you're 80, someone's going to spend time with you to hopefully help you take care of you when you're unable to. Because we all live different ages, there are cohorts, demographic cohorts. There are generations that exist. Some of us are going to get older faster than other people. So we've got financial markets that sort of lopside, that send and reallocate my time and attention now to benefit your time and attention needs later. Now, there's food. Remember in the other video I said there's eat and sleep safely. There's some more thoughts here related to that, but the idea is basically you're buying time for later with your time now. Oh, and you need to also afford your time now. Now imagine we put money into a Social Security system that I don't know how it's going to be funded if no one was working because it's based off of taxation. So we're going to just, for the sake of this conversation, assume that it just isn't there. But we can bypass it, and this is optimistic side of this. I think we can actually bypass the entire monetary system. Whoa. What? We'll see. Tell me if I'm wrong. Or help me make it right. So, again, your currency is time and attention. You leverage it, or people leverage you, your time and attention, so that they can buy things, but you also leverage your time and attention so you could buy things. Now, let me say it like this. These social media giants, you are the product that their advertisers are buying. Your time and your attention is commodified. Now, they have an economic incentive to keep you captured. They want to keep you on that platform. They have mastered their AI algorithms to keep you in their ecosystem for as long as they possibly can, so that they can extract economic value from you. The joke of the GDP is you are the product. You know what? Sort of the irony now of looking at one of those trucking companies where the slogan is, "People are our greatest assets." Yeah. You were the product. Now, again, not accusatory. It's just the way, everything is in order. Everything takes time. We started with one system. We started with chattel slavery, with wars where you'd go to war and you would take citizens, and then they would become, your doers, and while you would go off and produce arts and science. Well, now we get to all benefit, or not. We'll be able to benefit from this or not. So, I propose a new model. And if we all agree that the only real property that exists is time and attention, you own your time and your attention, but you want things. You're not just going to sit on a mountaintop and hum and eat food. I mean, you want to go on vacation. You want to buy a car. You want to live in a nice house. I say want. You desire. Now, we're not going to question the manufacturability of your desires. I'm saying above the needs, but above the need to sleep and eat, you want things. It's a human desire you want. Okay? Now, you can want too much. You can be aesthetic. Maybe not where this is going, but imagine we were trained in an educated in a system that helped us understand healthy wants, healthy desires, balance. I think in a cooperative system we'll get there. Competitive systems, I mean, tells you to gain. Okay, I'll go back to this. Okay, so you want a car. All you've got is time and attention. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, what do we do? I want to take two models, a couple of models that exist now, and we turn those into economic models. Because right now we've got a model that says, which is collapsing because of the information technology collapse, that says we extract value from complexity. Well, complexity is about to go away unless it's compulsory or forced complexity that remains, or people's ignorance that sustains complex systems. So, what if share with AI? So it's a lot of things, but principally, it's a really smart algorithm. I mean, we've got algorithms that trade coins and currencies and supply chain algorithms and financial trading algorithms. Here's, I don't even know if this is. By the way, I'm not a crypto person. I don't do Web3. I don't know NFTs. I'm just an old-fashioned, give me some folding money, and I'll go to the grocery store and buy some food kind of guy. I know a lot of people have done a good job investing in their future. They've invested in their time. I've always invested in my knowledge and my time and attention because I can use this for as long as I need to. And also, I'll go back to this. So, what if we took the organ transplant algorithm where you've got someone over here that needs a liver and they're waiting for that liver from the right person, from any person that exists, but from the right person. We also have and I'm looking at my notes over here because this is really complicated. This isn't my thing, it's just an idea. You then have the trade chain model. It's like the penny to car swap, right? You see the YouTubers that they'll start as a penny and they'll end up with a house, activity. So we can use those ways of thinking to imagine, okay, well, I want a car. Let's see. This person, F is for Frank, has a car. Okay, they have a car. I'm up here, D, I've got time and attention. Okay, and I probably have a skill. I'm going to say plus a skill. I am skillful with my time and attention. I know what to do. I know how to do something specifically with my time and with my attention. Or I've got some other asset that I've acquired with my time and attention at some other point. I've got food I've created. I've got handmade guitars I've been working on. I've got an algorithm I made. I've got music, whatever it is. I've done something with my time and attention. I have an asset. I have a thing that I've exchanged that I own, in so much as I own it. If I want a car, I figure out how do I go from, there's the likelihood of there being a person with a car that wants me to write them a poem is pretty nil. Maybe. It's a banger of a poem, but it's probably not very likely. So, how do I get to a car when he doesn't want a poem? He wants nothing. He wants a guitar, right? He wants something. Okay? So what if we used AI to optimize an algorithm and algorithms to help us have the world's fastest exchange, penny exchange, liver or organ transplant algorithm exchange system ever? Okay? And we'll solve for cold start problems, solve for the traveling salesman problem. These are all solvable. And that we'll talk about that in a second. But there's someone over here that has, maybe they've got, this is B for Bob. Bob has, he has a guitar. And then there's Amazon Mike has, a hair cutting business. He knows how to cut hair. He has a skill with his time and attention. Okay. So instead of me waiting to find a guy who is willing to take this right here, we let an algorithm resolve who gets what in the fastest possible way, like this, until eventually he gets his S from Sam's 2-week rental at his house because he wants to go on a vacation. Sam gets the guitar. Bob wanted the haircut. Mike wanted a poem for his wife. This resolves. Okay? Now, okay, if I haven't blown your mind yet, we all live somewhere. I live here, Bob lives here, Mike lives here. That ain't gonna work, right? Because we need to reduce our burden, our supply chain, the distance constraints here. So the next thing we do with ShareWith is we say, well, there's some modifiers. I mean, I love this. Like this is like Dungeons and Dragons for the economy. I mean, maybe the name is the same. So in this area right here, we could close scope these algorithms based off of proximity and time. Again, we've got time. This is a real thing. We've got physical distance. This isn't a real thing. This is a thing that exists, right? This is an economic abstraction, like a one of those tranches. This isn't a fiction of a piece of paper contract that says it exists. This exists and this exists and this exists and these exist. So we're just moving these things around, and everyone's got to do their part. Or not. We'll explain that. So I'm willing to wait on this car. Like that's the problem. I mean, that's so much money is made, and you will spend so much money for the convenience of now. We're in now generation. Everything is right now. I want to get my coffee right now. I want to go on a vacation next week. I'll put it on credit. I want to get things done fast. I mean, we're about to have an abundance of time. And there are other things we can do that just slow time down, that are fun, like speed time up, like having time with our friends. There's no coincidence that work seems to drag on forever, but time with your friends just goes by so quickly. Maybe because it's your perception of time. But if you're willing to wait, because these algorithms, maybe these should be, we have the commercial days, prime days. What if we had resolution days where the algorithms resolve every 3 weeks? And if you're willing to wait for your car in 3 weeks, well then all you gotta do is write a really awesome poem. Now, there needs to be some time put in to solve the cold start traveling salesman problem. And people will need to, and I don't think necessarily this is the case. Again, I'm not a mathematician or an economist. I'm a realist, an ideal realist. I'd be willing to write a bunch of poems. I'd be willing to go spend a minimum amount of time working at a field. I'd be willing to buffer a healthy algorithm to contribute to my network, my region, to sustain its health, to give to satisfy this. So, in case there are people that don't have skills or time or attention algorithms here, or nodes, then that would help, I don't know, fill it up. We'd solve it. We'd solve it by having an abundance of people giving things away. But remember, if this is all you have and this is all you want, and if there's abundant food everywhere, and if you're not working, I mean, we're trading. We're trading what? We're trading hobbies. We're trading guitars. We're trading time and attention. We're trading poetry. We're trading martial arts. We're trading collectibles. We're trading boots. We're trading. I mean, there's so much stuff we can trade and still create. I mean, we still need to have people that manufacture really complicated widgets and computer systems. Go to school, trade your time and attention to invest in a skill, to weld, to manufacture, to roof. I mean, and the goal, mind you, is that we all work as little as possible. So it ought to be that my skill is roofing or construction. Okay? Now, Frank will never know that I spent 3 hours on a roof last week for Bob with Jim. Or maybe we have a cooperative of people that do these things. We've pooled time because now it's an exponential efficiency aspect. He'll never know. He doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to get on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and negotiate with me. No. I do this. I go over here. I go over here. We go over here. Boom. I get a car. Now, what happens if you want something that isn't in the network? Well, then you got to go out further. And this is where our friend the G-Man can collect their taxes. We can tax based off of proximity to the source origin. Or you can wait. You get into a queue and wait. Are you willing to wait a year in a resolution algorithm to get a car? I mean, maybe you can't wait. Would you be willing to put in more time and attention somewhere to move up this faster? The goal is, though, that this is not something, and I'm speaking out of turn now because I'm not a math guy, but here's the deal. We're all going to get old. We're all going to need to save up for the back half of our lives when we simply don't have the ability to put in time or attention of the same skill that we had before. So how do we do this? Well, we have to imagine that maybe I don't have time here, but someone else has a little bit more time over here. This is just like the tribe that I was reading about, their society, the young spry lad who can fell a tree is felling trees. What if, and this is, and I'm not a politician, I'm not political, I've got ideas that force cultural, social reconsiderations. So if I may, I don't think this is required. I feel like we can math this thing away. Now your wants and your desires are going to make this hard because you're going to want some pretty crazy things. But I mean, let's just run the numbers on this. Let's simulate this. Let's optimize these algorithms. Let's progressively optimize these algorithms. But if we've only been saving, so imagine if you want a vacation now. You're about to have a bunch of time. So if you want to go on a vacation, like the value of vacations are going to change. It's not going to be. Our entire cultural norms about golfing when you're 70 and going fishing, like we're going to have people golfing when they're 30. So a lot of things are going to change as a byproduct. This is sort of an opportunity for us to shape it, I think. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Public school, public institutions, where, it's for a public good. We pay taxes for public good. We maintain roads for public good. These are all things that we just decided. We wrote down on contracts, we called them laws. We assumed them as cultural norms. They became taboos. They're influenceable. And I know they're influenceable because there are nations and states that do things differently. So it is a changeable thing. It's an influenceable thing. So what if everyone sort of is having a good time in the middle, putting in the amount of time and attention they need to get what they want, and everyone's got abundance of food, right? So we're not starving, we're not working to eat. And we're all maybe we've got properties, we all live places. We're about to spread out a lot as a country, which is awesome. But for all the people that are in the senior years, we're going to do things maybe the old school way, where the youngins take care of the old ones. Imagine an army of 16 to 23, 22, 21 year olds that are trained in home health, trained in caring for people, trained in managing and administrating society. I mean, your investment is in people, not in monetary systems that can be taken from you, not where middleman can take and extract value from your time and attention in a system that is so complicated that you have to go to college for 4 years and get licenses to figure out how to extract people's money. That's cool. We got dogs outside. So this is the idea behind Share with AI. Can you help me work with supply chain, organ transplant, trade chain, time and patience currency, proximity weighted matching, algorithmic abundance with no money, just motion, time, and attention? Are you a mathematician? Are you an economist? I mean, and it's funny, like economy, I say it's not funny. What we don't say it loud is that we all know this secretly. We don't ever say it like this, but we know that it's like this. And so we've been extracting value from this. And economics, macroeconomics, is just people manipulation. We know that we are scarcity and fear driven creatures. We know that what was, my heroes, Ayn Rand, you know, um, you know, free market economist. Like the free market has been good, but when was the last time the market was really free? I mean, we're about to have a free market right here. It's going to be a completely free market. But how do I know that this is going to be hard? It's just a thought. Interest rates are a social control mechanism. You, the human, spend too much money. So we are going to influence your behavior. You are easy to control. Your behavior is controllable and predictable. You're controlled and subdued by media and allegiances. You're either left or right. You're this team or that team. I'm too. I was too. Haves and have-nots. We're divided. I'll stop saying you. Again, I'm not trying to be accusatory. We're divided. Our identities keep us bound to beliefs that are wrong at their core. And let me say it like this. Here's a fun way to look at a new ShareWith algorithm. Okay, let me say it like this. Help me with the algorithm. Help me use AI to create proximity-based algorithm, or do it yourself. You can help me or you can do it yourself, because I want to live in this world. I want to live in a world where food abundance is being automated, where, I've done this all summer. Go to my buddy's house and I help him put up a fence. I've got friends. Go get friends. Learn a skill. Put yourself in an algorithmically managed supply chain and be willing to wait for things you want that are not needs. Needs should be satisfied, or at least you can satisfy needs in this. Stop letting people extract value from your time with complexity. And be careful where you put your time and attention. Or not. I know this sounds crazy. I know your ism alarms are going off because you've been told that there's only 2 to 3 ways to do a thing. I know that economists, real academics are looking at this and laughing right now. They're saying, oh, this can't happen. And they're going to say, and this is in my last video, it can't happen because it's a system problem or it's a people problem. Systems are designed, people are managed. Now, we can manage people's behavior through interest rates and through media. Or we can influence people's behavior by making sure we have our own agency. We train ourselves, we educate ourselves, we invest a little bit of time, we enjoy all of our freedom. So I'm going to leave you with the most compelling possible call to action I possibly can. Okay? What do you want to do for a living? If you could do anything, what would you want to do? What skill do you have? And if you have no skills, right now, the marketplace doesn't value you. If you don't have a skill that's transferable, if you can't work on a roof, if you're not very good at math, you're not very good at drawing, you may say to yourself, well, the economy doesn't value me, so I have to exploit my body on body exploiting websites. I have to exploit my time and my child's time by going to cash stores. I have to take a title loan. I have to rob and steal. I have to go work at big box retailers for minimum wage to go buy food that I can't afford. I have to go work at a mall that I can't even afford to shop there. So no matter what, you're going to do this. You're going to do this all day until you fall asleep. You're going to give your time and attention to something. Okay? Now, maybe in this new algorithm, maybe your time and attention is better monetized with hobbies and friends and teaching and sharing. And if you don't know how to do anything, then we'll build an app that is an app that to get into the exchange, you literally you say time and attention. Go help a senior citizen today. Go help someone who is hungry today. Because we can put into this network things that are normally devalued. I mean, we devalue caring for pets. Man, wouldn't you like it if your job today was to go pet a puppy? Or, you know what, maybe you're young and you got some skills and you want to go do XYZ. Maybe you got to go work on a road today. You're going to do some construction because you like hanging out with your buddies. Okay? But we can put into these exchange networks things that have been previously on the outside of economic value. I mean, look how we devalue people who care for senior citizens. And imagine the amount, and this is like, we're solving climate crises, we're solving world hunger, we're solving the loneliness epidemic, we're solving us killing ourselves with bad food. I mean, we're designing systems. You're going to participate in the design of a system that can alleviate all of our worst problems. We can put in here caring for the lonely, caring for senior citizens. We can put in here moms that need help with daycare or babysitting. We could put in here people that are disabled. Like, people will have value now beyond whatever their economic value is now, because money doesn't care now, because the exchange network now is you have a skill, you need to take the time to find the person that needs that skill. And this right here, going from me to you, is its own economy. This is its own extraction. There's a lot of people that are making money off of how difficult it is for me to get to you. Let's just do it this way. I'm crazy. Now, I know, like I said before, the only thing left is our will. That's the only thing left. Because if the algorithms can do this, if we can get some nice scientists to come together and do this, I mean, the only thing left is our will.